evening, folks. Y'all might have seen that little battery light on just a second ago. We have a alternator not charging on the tractor here. So we are going to change out the alternator on this bad boy today. So I thought maybe the belt wasn't the belt. It is the alternator. I did confirm we are getting nothing out here on the output. It is 0. If you disconnect this cable, which is run to the battery right now, it will show you whatever juice is left in the battery currently. I think the other day when I was testing this, it was showing at 12 volts. And it's probably a lot less now since I've ran the tractor a little bit to spread out some piles of grass I let decompose over here. So we got our new alternator over here, and I got it from DB Electrical. They were having a little sale on there the other day, and this little dude comes with a little sheet. Tells you what they tested it at, amps and all that good stuff, and frequencies and performance charts and all that good stuff. Got it shipped to the house. This whole thing was 118 bucks. The only thing that I've got to do to this thing right off is swap this wire retainer to this side. That's it. Other than that, it's ready to go on. So we'll just pull this panel off so we can get in there and change this bad boy out. So let's just get to it. So basically what I did was unplug the wire from the positive terminal off of the battery that's going to, I don't know if you guys can see that very well. Not any better. Maybe. So our battery still showing 12 volts. So now we'll just check it on the back side of this alternator here. If that's unplugged, we've got 0. So all I did was unplug this little cable right there. I don't know if you can see it. That little guy right there, it's all greasy. Unplug that. That's the power wire to the alternator here. Or not power wire, but recharge cable, however you want to call it. Anyway, that's the return to the battery. So we just disconnected it. Now we'll just start undoing everything. Take a 10 millimeter wrench here. Undo this. Disconnect that. Put it down the other way. That one's undone. Get our 14 for this bottom bolt. It's really kind of hard to see. It's right under there. It's a 12 for this top one right here. Slip our belt off here. Now, all right. Now, as you can tell, the strap for the wire is on the wrong side. So we'll just swap it. Not much difference in length. Just different bolts. That's all. Very minimal difference. Alright, now that's what. Let's stick it back on there. I gotta get a different mount one of these days. That's still movable. Well, I'll go ahead and plug this wire in. Now we got the wire loom all secured in the little bracket again. Now we can plug in our electrical connection back to the battery. That one's in there. Put the meter back on here. Hopefully it'll stay. We'll start this thing up. Well, first off, no battery light no more. And tell that it's all gone. We're charging. It's a lot better than we was doing the other day. Alright, so we got that done. That's charging good. Now, can't tell, but our oil filter says 1150 and we're at 1207 hours. So we need to do an oil change on this bad boy. So we'll let it run for a minute. I'll get the drain pan and we'll get ready to change the oil. Alright. So now we're ready to drain this oil out of here. If you ain't never done it before, there's two drain plugs for the oil pan here because of the shaft going through the middle, kind of like the old Ford 5.0s and the Mustangs. They had two plugs, one in the rear and then one at the front on account of the cross member in the frame. So we'll draining right quick. That oil ain't very warm. Wasn't running for very long either, but even just enough to get it going out pretty good. Alright, now we'll open the cap on the top. Looks like in the near future I'm gonna have a hydraulic leak to address up here. Could be a loose fitting, could be the line, I don't know. But there ain't a whole lot of stuff that I've had to do to this thing. It's changing oil, front end's been redone once, had leaky seals on both sides. Both of those was redone. It's not too terribly bad a shape for what it is. It's an old Kubota tractor, 1200 hours on it. It's probably nothing to shake a stick at compared to some other models of tractors. But alright, let's go ahead and put this thing. Alright, that's probably tied up. Like, I don't know if I told you a while ago, but that was a 3/4 socket on that. We'll just give it a little spritz of clean here. Here we go. get this filter. Alright, we're using a new Wix 51311 there. If you're curious about these filters, on the inside if it'll show it, there's a bypass spring in there. Might not show it. Oh, there it is. The bypass on this is down in the bottom, and it has holes in the core for the fluid return, so it'll be, you know, pretty good. It's probably not as high quality as the actual Kubota filter. I've got that one still to compare it to this one. We can see how they stack up. So that'll be something to compare that Wix filter that I just pulled off to the other Kubota filter that I cut open, and we can see how good quality it is. I feel like the Kubota one's going to be probably built better than this Wix, but this ain't nothing to, these Wix filters probably ain't nothing to, you know, throw a stick at. They're pretty good filters. Now we'll get a funnel and we'll put some oil in this thing. And I just pop this off the here instead of going up on the top of the engine. Well, you might need a different. Maybe I can pour it in like this. Yeah, it'll be all right. We spill a little, it'll be all right. And just so everybody knows before I start shaking this bottle and somebody has to say something about it. It's habit. I always shake the oil bottles, the jugs, whatever it is, whatever it come in, I always shake it. It's habit, because you can never tell how long that bottle, jug, whatever the container is, has been sitting, and whether or not the ad pack has fallen out of suspension, if that makes sense. If you don't understand what I'm saying, I'm probably not the best at explaining it, but Lake Speed Jr. over there on the Motor Oil Geek channel, he talks about that and goes into great detail, a lot better than what I can say it for. But just so everyone knows, that's why I do it. Because I've had people in the comments just, why you do that? I didn't know you're supposed to do it. You know, just going on about it. You know, I don't know why it's that big a deal. This thing takes 6 quarts of oil. And I'm putting 1540 in this. I think if you look by the book forever, Kubota used to say like a standard 30 weight. So this 1540 ain't gonna hurt it. Also, that wrench light that's on the dash, that is for the 1200 hour service. That's why the lights, or that light is on with the wrench. And I never bothered to turn it off, so you just gotta press and hold the little buttons on the display up there, and it'll reset itself. But the little button pad up there is starting to deteriorate pretty bad and break apart, get holes in it. So I don't want to mess with it too much, because I don't know if a replacement part for that is available. I'll have to look somewhere that's, you know, big time parts for it. That Coleman equipment or whatever online, they have some stuff for this tractor for the age it is. And then that giant Kubota store, Messick's, I've bought parts from them for this. That's where the actual seat suspension stuff, those parts came from Messick's. I just called and ordered it from them. It came pretty quick, although when I put everything together to rebuild the seat, I was expecting to be a little more of a bounce, you know, and suspension to it, and really it ain't riding any better. So I don't know if it's just that style of seat or what it is, but it didn't turn out as good as I thought it would be. But it does have the new shock and the 2 new springs on it, so that's all up to date. And like I said earlier, that alternator was like $118 shipped, and there was a code from DB Electrical that knocked it down just a little bit more, and there was no shipping fee. So it was just the cost of the alternator and then some taxes, which it's hard to get around taxes unless you're tax exempt. But now we're all done with that. We can fire this thing up, let it run for a few minutes, and then we'll check the oil. Might have been too much. Now, all right, folks. I'm gonna say that's all done. Oil change and an alternator replaced. We got no leaks. She's ready to go. Got some brush hogging work to do coming up real soon, so we'll get a video on that when I can. Anyways, thank y'all for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Y'all have a good one, and have a happy 4th of July.